What's going on, guys? It's Shawnee Salami. Today I got two games on defense with you. This one's pretty standard, just using the War Axe on Galencourt. The second one is a 40 kill defense game in just two stages with the Messer, and that one's on Fallmeyer. That second one with 40 kills in it, I'll put as a chapter, so if you only have time for one and want to check that one out, that's all good. And something I did want to talk about was some people do get annoyed with stats when I talk about them, and honestly I think that's completely fair, so it's something I'm going to try and avoid doing unless it's like explaining, oh, this game was crazy or this game was bad, that kind of thing. More on that in a second, but I do get killed by an archer, unfortunately, in melee. He gets some backup and the other guy does most of the work, but then I get teabagged, of course, because I bloodthirsted him. Kind of fair. And right, the thing about the stats is that once you get to a certain level in this game, like I'm level 1000 with a lot of hours, I'm playing against myself and trying to do better, and I want to put up more numbers, and I also get competitive with other players in the lobby that I recognize that I want to do better with them. And it's again in my head. And the other thing I would like to point out is that you guys have heard me whine enough about other players not doing the objective, and I hope you've watched me do it enough. Like even right here, see, I'm going to the other side, they're starting to capture it, that it's not only, it's definitely not only about the stats, it's more so for the win. And I really think that I gotta remember that this channel is mostly for the casual player, so I'm not gonna be like, oh, you know, I have so many kills right now, until the end or the beginning. I do want to point out death streaks, however, because I do like to critique the mistakes so that you guys can see things I did wrong, and then maybe you could fix your gameplay. And I'll try and point out the good stuff without being like, oh, a lot of kills here, without dying. So yeah, I just wanted to address that just because I think it's a completely fair criticism. So we're using the War Axe. I haven't used this one in forever, really, especially on video. And the reason I chose it is I was getting angry today. I got some real life stuff going on, nothing major, just a deadline. And the Discord saw me rage, so I was like, you know what better way to channel that anger and be like an angry barbarian type archetype than use this one, because this one's a monster. Doesn't take much thinking to it. If you're good at counters, you want to really use those slashes and drags too. The only thing I don't like about this weapon is 1 versus 1. I actually think I get burned quite a few times in this one from that. Is you're gonna have a lot of trouble just fighting a one-hander, or even just a straight up 1 versus 1 if they have one that's good, like the Messer, longsword, one-handers, especially, like I said. And yeah, let's just get in the gameplay, as I've done enough ranting. And just like I mentioned, this is pretty tough with the longsword, because no offense to him, he's a little new holding block, and it's still giving me trouble because I feel like this isn't my best weapon by any means, and it's better in group fights. So I was having a little trouble with it. Like I said, it's also, I'm not as good with it personally. Here's an autopilot moment if I've ever seen one. I have no clue what I was doing here. Absolutely no idea, but it makes for some comedy, I guess. Unfortunately, this guy, I don't know, maybe he didn't hear people behind him somehow, but I hit stop on him when I would have got a hit, and it does get me killed. A lot of team damage. I even downed a teammate a second ago, which I didn't realize in real time. I'm trying to get to that explosive, but I really should have realized it was a little too late. I even get that warning pop-up for it. A nice 1vx going here. I almost am able to get all of them, but check this out. I do an overhead just out of range. That guy with the messer did a really good job of realizing what the range on it was and like backstep a little bit and down me. Now this was unfortunate. I'm not good with the war axe in 1v1s, but I do think this guy may have killed me regardless because he seemed very good. Unfortunately though, he does teabag me. That's not nice, but good fight. Now this and bridge type objectives, I feel like if you're in the front not doing team damage is where the war axe can really shine if I could get those wide sweeping attacks. They did get that door pretty quickly, and I'm going to skip ahead quite a bit just because I was trying to hang back, but I got pretty impatient after a while and rushed in. And I got impatient because look how good my team is fighting together right now. They're having a hard time getting in. I do put myself in a bad position here, and I get killed and pay the price. Usually I don't even bother getting revenge if someone teabags me, but I take out the one-hander here to get this guy back because I was in a bad mood, like I said. Like, I usually don't care. So this was bad though. I teabag him. I didn't know there was an archer up here, and I guess they kill the guy who was downed. Very bad move by me. This is how you know you're gonna make mistakes when you're angry, like I talk about. Because why do that instead of just getting the guy up? Even if I did want my revenge in my head, I didn't have to go for a teabag over not reviving someone.
Keep the maintenance off of the brink! Agatheon, protect the gate! Fear not, with
And as I said, as long as I can get those counters, this is a really good spot where the war axe shines.
keep the maintenance off of the brink!
No real crazy stat lines, but we played well, good positioning on defense, and let's get into game number 2. Quite honestly, this game was insane. I was partied up with Sir Camelot, get it? Sir Camelot, get it? Get it? And a few others, but we also ended up in the same game as Cage and Ultron Blue, two great guys, as well as Evolved. I forgot him too. He's an awesome guy. And me and Sir Camelot in particular, we had insane games with 40 kills, and I'm trying to put up 2 shorter games, so spoiler alert, we did win on defense, because mainly these 2 games were a good example of doing the objective and good positioning on defense for you guys to pay attention to. But I've talked about how the Messer may just be a little overpowered, and it's definitely my best weapon. I'm curious what you guys think about it in the comments. And I just do much better with this than anything else, which is why I try not to use it too much, because it gets a little boring. So because I'm not playing in a competitive like scene or anything, just casually playing, I try to put this one down and use other ones. It wasn't looking like we'd survive that, so we thank him because he did a great job backing us up. We were in a game with seemingly a lot of vanguards. There's some knights around here, but as the game fills up after this objective, there was a ton of vanguards around. So it just felt like the messer and like cut weapons in general were the go-to choice here. A nice extended 1v1 here. A lot of people find the Dane Axe overpowered, but I don't have trouble with it, especially in a situation like that. I'm sick of archers and in a bad mood yesterday as well, so I give that guy a few whacks for putting a javelin directly through my head.
Keep the assassins away from the prisoners!
Check this out. He goes for the longsword special and I get a really nice sidestep and get around his block. Not much going on, a lot of kills, some kills from behind mostly. They get it at the last second. Now we're fighting for our lives, but you'll never guess what happens next.
Defend the gate! They must not break through! Don't let the Italians bring the heart to the gate! Secure that baton, son! The Italians will not use it!
Again, it just felt like there were so many vanguards around, which really helps us pile up the kills with cut weapon. Another nice 1 versus 1 here. I don't know why I went for a kick. I don't remember how that happened, but I've met my match and he's able to get me.
Secure the baton, son! The Italians must not use it! Secure that baton, son! The Italians must not use it!
Unfortunately, not too many exciting moments in this game because a lot of the kills did come down to getting behind them. At least that's what it feels like while I'm watching it back. And then they can't get it. 43 kills is pretty crazy in 2 stages though, and Sir Camelot had 39 or 40, I forget as well. Really dominating defensive games here, and I love you guys. I'll see you in the next one.